Hello Internet Drummers! Today we're going to get started using the left foot hi-hat. I'm going to show you 4 patterns that are simple yet useful. And don't worry, you will not have to know how to read music for this lesson. So let's jump in. For starters, you're going to need to, for lack of a better term, activate the left foot pedal. So push down on the pedal a little bit and then tighten the wing nut at the top. Now you should be able to open and close the hi-hat using your foot. If those directions were too fast for you or it didn't work exactly like you think it should, I have a whole nother video with more detailed instructions as well as some troubleshooting tips. Since this is a beginner lesson, we are going to play all of our left foot hi-hat patterns against the basic rock groove. So as a refresher, that's eighth notes on the ride cymbal, kick on 1 and 3, and snare on 2 and 4. We're going to put our right hand on the ride cymbal so that the hi-hat is freed up to play these left foot patterns. Here is that groove without any hi-hats, just so we're all on the same page. For our first left foot pattern, we are going to add the hi-hat on beats 2 and 4. So basically we are playing the hi-hat along with the snare drum. Here's that pattern on the full kit. Here is just the feet from that pattern. Notice how they are alternating or going back and forth as though you were walking down the street. This pattern works really well in rock, pop, and country. You're basically reinforcing the snare drum, giving it a little crispness without muddying up the groove too much. And this is also the traditional jazz hi-hat pattern, in case you're venturing into that genre. For the second left foot pattern, instead of just playing the hi-hat on 2 and 4, we're going to play it on beats 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if last time we were just playing the hi-hat with the snare drum, now we're going to be playing the hi-hat with the snare drum and the kick drum. This one can be a little tricky. If you notice, you're playing your feet together and then just the left foot. Together and then just the left foot. So you may have to isolate that and just practice the feet for a little while. This pattern also works well in rock and pop and country. It adds a nice quarter note pulse to the groove. And it also lets you feel that pulse physically, because if you'll notice, your left foot is playing on every single quarter note. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you're playing the basic rock groove, none of your other limbs are actually playing quarter notes. Our third pattern is sort of the inverse of the last one. We are going to put the hi-hat on all of the offbeats, or in between the kick and the snare. If you're counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, the hi-hat will be on all of the ands. If you stop playing the ride cymbal, you'll notice how the left foot goes in between each kick and snare. This pattern works great for funk tunes or any music where you want just a hint of syncopation. It also works well in styles that accent the offbeat, such as disco or reggae. Our last pattern is simply playing the hi-hat on every single eighth note. This means your left foot will line up with your right hand. Try just that at first, because it can be kind of an odd sensation. And once you can do that, add in the snare and the kick. This fourth pattern works in a number of situations. It's a lot of notes, so anytime you want to add a frantic feel to a groove, this could work. This also works well anytime your right hand has something else to play, because if you notice, between your left foot, your snare, and your kick, you have the entire basic rock groove. This means your right hand is free to play something else, like a tom pattern, a cowbell pattern, or even another instrument like a tambourine or a simple keyboard part. I use this fourth pattern a lot in big spaces with bad acoustics, so sometimes you end up playing in a high school gym or cafeteria, or in a cathedral with no sound system. And I found in those situations, a lot of time the ride cymbal just gets lost in all of the space. So when that happens, I'll add the short sound of the left foot hi-hat to every single eighth note to give the groove a little more definition. Step one is just getting all of these patterns down with the basic rock groove. Practice them slowly at first, and then eventually be able to play them at a variety of tempos. And once you feel comfortable doing that, try switching between right hand hi-hat and right hand ride cymbal with left foot hi-hat, like you would going from the verse of a song to the chorus of a song. And after you can do that, just change up the groove underneath. Take any other groove you know and try to add all four of these patterns against it. Over time, you'll get comfortable playing all of these patterns, so you can choose whichever one fits best in your specific musical situation. Okay, that's all for today. We learned 4 basic hi-hat patterns. If you have any questions about anything we went over today, leave them down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content just like this, and as always, thanks for watching.